We'll have previous minutes, student and school presentations, parent groups, open to the public, 3 minutes per speaker for no longer than 60 minutes. We'll have our superintendent's report, our correspondence and board comments, personnel agenda, consent agenda. We'll have a personnel addendum and then a consent addendum. And then we will actually have a third addendum to the personnel agenda. And then we'll have a proposed executive session, followed by adjourning the meeting. I'd quickly like to point out a couple of corrections. On page 5 of the personnel agenda, we will be removing under letter N, appoint permanent substitute teachers. The first name, Erica Coughlin, there, that name is being removed from the agenda in that location. I'd also like to point out on page 10 of the personnel agenda, letter U, which is an approved second addendum agreement to superintendent appointment, assistant superintendent provisions. We are removing that from the agenda as well. May I have a motion to add an addendum to the agenda?
Motion to add an addendum to the agenda. Second.
Do we need to read it at this point, or no? Okay. Okay. We are adding resolution 082214B. Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby approve the terms of a supplemental memorandum of agreement with the CSEA, resolving the pending grievance regarding the payment of night differentials in the 2012-2013 school year, a copy of which shall be incorporated by reference in the minutes of this meeting, and be it further resolved that the Board of Education President and the Superintendent of Schools be and hereby are authorized to execute such supplemental memorandum of agreement on behalf of the district. Okay, roll call vote?
No.
Okay. So all those in favor to add to the agenda?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. May I have a motion for previous minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes of the previous regular meeting held on Monday, July 11th, 2006. August 11th?
August 11th.
Monday, August 11th, 2014 is attached.
Do you see that correction? It says July 11th. All those in favor? Place that minutes. Opposed? Motion carried. Do we have any students or school presentations tonight? Any parent groups? Open to the public? Who would like to speak? Please come forward.
Good evening, everyone. Jan Stark, district resident. As you're probably able to observe, I haven't been able to make the past few board meetings, but I have kept apprised of things. First off, I'd like to take this opportunity to publicly welcome Dr. Walkley to our district again, but this time in the role of interim superintendent. I hope we have her for a long time. I'm sure she's going to do a bang-up job bringing everybody together, and I know that she has a wealth of knowledge and true interest in our district. In this week's, this is a kind of a sticky wicket. In the August 20th edition of the Beacon Free Press, I'm sure all of you are aware of a letter to the editor that Mr. Buggs has written and was published. This is a topic that he has discussed a number of times with the district. And I'm a little bit uneasy about this. I know that during my 25 years living in the district, that our school board has never had a hesitation about hiring qualified minority candidates or qualified candidates in general. We've had a history of having a number of minority personnel in a variety of positions, teachers, administration, going back even into the 70s when my wife was a student at Beacon High School. I know Mr. White, who is a lifelong resident of the community, can attest to the number of minority teachers that he's had the opportunity to experience a healthy education through elementary, middle school, as well as here at the high school. It's disturbing that a cloud has been cast over our district in this manner, with the feeling that our district is discriminatory towards minority individuals. I know that's not the case. I was wondering, and obviously you don't have to answer, but I would think that without the looking to stir the fire more, but being able to get the board's perspective out there. I know a long time ago there were always articles in the free press that Mr. Zoff and whomever was, when he was president of the board, or Debbie when she was president of the board with the superintendent, would write a weekly or monthly type update as to what's going on in our school district. And I just wonder, maybe perhaps with advice from the school attorney, if it's not, if it wouldn't be prudent for this board, with Mrs. Thompson, to write a response to Mr. Bug and have that published in the free press, so that the community gets to see your perspective in a non-threatening, non-challenging format that has seemed to be the process that has been used in the past by Mr. Buggs. Again, this is just one taxpayer's opinion, but there's a certain amount of disparaging remarks that are in the article about our school district that I know that are not true. I know that that you as individuals on the board believe not to be true either. And at some point there needs to be a stand. I feel there needs to be a stand by the Board of Education, not to defend yourselves, but to put out your perspective of how things happen. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Jim Unger. I came to the board tonight and to the school district just to ask a simple question. I've been doing some research and I was quite impressed by some things that I found, and I came to recent knowledge that some grants were recently awarded internationally, and I was wondering if anyone in the district knows if we're involved with schoolinthecloud.org. Okay.
No, we don't know.
Okay, that's no big deal, because there's a professor. He's actually out of Oxford now, Sugata Mitra, and he's done various experiments, the classic hole-in-the-wall computer experiments. If you go on YouTube, he has 3 TED Talks from 2007, 2010, 2013. And he actually won the first TED Talk prize worth $1 million, but he was given a grant by Oxford of $2 million in earlier years, actually. What I've seen so far is of it as a former middle school math teacher is it seems to show some of the best effective ways to utilize technology. And he has a concept he calls SOUL, self-organized learning environment, where he, if you see the videos, you'll just be astonished, because he will come into an Italian classroom, that's my favorite, and write them something on the board in English, and come back 20 minutes later and they will have the answers. And these are kids that are being asked a high school or a college level question, and they're 10 years old, that kind of thing. So I would invite you, I brought the videos actually on a flash drive, but my health is not all that great, so I apologize. I'm going to be leaving right after I comment. But I would strongly encourage you to involve as many teachers as possible in that. They have a website now. It's a worldwide research project. You could go there right now, schoolinthecloud.org, and you either sign up as a teacher or one of the integral parts. They especially like retired teachers. They have what they call grannies, but if you see the videos, you'll see what's involved. But it just seems to be a very effective way, in fact, probably the most effective way of incorporating technology to achieve learning, especially in light of core curriculum and asking big questions or trying to delve into big topics and then dissect them. So I'll leave this toolkit for it with the board president.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Would anyone else like to speak? Thank you. Brings us to the superintendent's report.
Okay. So I have, I hope, a short report, but it actually encompasses an awful lot. I wanted to start with an update of the summer work that we've been doing during the summer. Oftentimes, people ask, well, what do you do with all that time you have in the summer? Because the students aren't here, and it must be great to work in the summer and there's no work to do. And actually, our teachers and administrators have been working really hard this summer. And so I'd like to point out some of the work that's been done this summer. I want to start with curriculum work, because I know that people are very interested in the Common Core curriculum and what Beacon is doing with the Common Core. And after having 1 year of implementing last year, the teachers found a lot of interesting things about the Common Core. And they also found that there were places that maybe the Common Core curriculum could be improved upon and modified a little bit. So as to the question, are we adopting or adapting? We are adapting. And so this summer, we have had teams of teachers from pre-K all the way through high school working on improving the curriculum. We are still using, for those grade levels and content areas that do have Common Core, we are using the Common Core as the basis. In some areas, we felt that there could be more assessments, and so teachers have worked on some assessments. In some areas, we felt there could be more practice or whatever, so we've been working hard on that. And the teachers have done a wonderful job. They have also put together all of the student workbooks, because the Common Core, if you use the Common Core off the web, you download an awful lot of information. They have modified those workbooks. A lot of time was spent on that, and I think that the students will benefit from their work, so I thank them. In addition to that, we've had quite a bit of summer programming. We have had Regents Reviews at the high school. We have had an extended school year for our students with disabilities. We have had some summer programming for our ESL students, and we have had some reinforcement work done at the middle school for our advanced students, as well as other students. So many thanks to the teachers and the administrators who have been overseeing and working in those programs, because I know our students will benefit greatly from that work. In addition to that, we've had some planning committees that have both administrators and teachers who have been planning to continuously improve the school district. And we have had CSE meetings all summer long where teachers and administrators have participated. So an awful lot of work has been going on, and great thanks to them, as well as Dr. Sieverdeen mentioned, our August graduation of students who came and finished their requirements. From the administrative point of view, the summer is a good time for us to come together and spend some time learning. So this summer we spent a day with NYU, and we were working on a topic called cultural competence. And in addition to that, the administrative team just spent 2 additional days in learning and planning together. So thanks to them. So the paradigm shift is that we're very busy during the summer. We've had a lot of people in already this summer working, and we will go opening school, and I hope that they have at least this last week to get rested up, because some people have been working most of the summer. The second piece that I would like to share this evening is I would like to talk a little bit about the diversity within our staff. And I would like everyone to know that I've received some information from the Office of Civil Rights and the Equal Employment Opportunity in Washington, D.C. And we are required to send a report each year about the percents or numbers of people who fall in different subcategories, ethnic groups. I believe some information was shared that was probably linked. My best guess, I don't know for sure, my best guess is that information came from the BEDS report, which is information that we gather each year on our students and on our staff. And it is a self-reporting for the staff, a self-reporting checkoff if they wish to reveal their ethnic category. And so that's not always the best source of information to take a look at. And I believe what was quoted at the last meeting came from that report, but that number really only represented one subgroup or ethnic group. And what I'd like to say is that from the Office of Civil Rights, I have been given some guidance, because the BEDS report inherently is flawed when anyone is self-reporting, particularly if they can choose to report or not report. So there is some guidance in the information that I've received that I will be applying in surveying the staff, and I can give a better reflection of our staff after doing that report. So I just wanted to let everyone know that that is in motion. The other thing about the information that was shared, it really only reflected those people who are teachers in the classroom. And when we talk in education about teachers, our group of teachers is bigger than just those teachers who are in the classroom. We, at the time that the BEDS report was made, there was 239 teachers that were considered classroom teachers. But when we look at that unit, the unit is much larger to include other people such as psychologists, social workers, etc. So when we talk about teachers, we need to be careful. Are we talking about classroom teachers, or are we talking about the larger category of teachers? So again, just wanted to make that correction. I also wanted to give an update on the administrative positions that are open. I can share with you that we have the 2 assistant principal positions open, one at the middle school, one at the high school, and there is an assistant superintendent position open currently. We received 103 resumes for the assistant superintendent, 40 resumes for the high school assistant principal, and 130 resumes for the middle school. And those principals and myself, we have read every resume. There were some resumes that were handed in who I will say are not qualified because they did not have the proper certification. But they were very, very few. So those were eliminated, and we have read the rest. I feel like I've read a novel this summer looking at resumes because I've also been reading teacher resumes as well. And we have begun the interview process for all 3 positions, and we hope to have an appointment at the next board meeting. The other piece of information that I wanted people to know is that this year I would like to hold 4 forums, public forums, that initially I believe I will hold at the district office unless I get news that there are lots of people who would like to come. There'll be more information about it, but I envision it an opportunity to come and have a conversation, continue a conversation with myself. I will set up a time. We'll have some tea and cookies or something for the public. And if you'd like to come and talk about topics, we will do so and allow you to have a conversation, which is a little bit different than the business type meeting that we have with a board meeting. So those of you that have topics that you'd like to have more of a conversation, that will be the opportunity. I was thinking 1 per season, so that you'll be hearing more about it. And that will conclude my report for today.
Thank you. Do we have any board comments tonight? I would just like to quickly thank Dr. Sieverding for his report tonight, and also point out that I attended the August graduation ceremony last week, and the ceremony was held here in this room, and while there were 11 graduates, I believe only 7 were here, but this room was full. And it was very nice to see our students who had to step that extra step to get to that place, and to see the excitement in their families as they celebrated their success with them. So congratulations to them once again. Okay. We have a motion to approve the personnel agenda.
Motion to approve the personnel agenda items A through T as attached. Second.
Comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
As was mentioned, we actually have an addendum personnel agenda, but I'm going to make an announcement with this personnel agenda. There are 2 new teachers here who are being appointed tonight. They may have been appointed now or on the addendum, and there's a representative here representing a 3rd new teacher that we have. And so I just wanted to recognize them. I'll start with the interesting one, the representative. Tonight we have Erica Coughlin's mother here, because Erica is out of the country today, but I don't know if she sent her mother or her mother came, but
Her mother came.
so thank you. And in addition to that, we have Miss Stora and Miss Frick here this evening. If you could stand up, both new teachers. And they're both going to be at the middle school, and we're very excited to have all 3. There are other appointments and on the agenda tonight. We don't require people to come in the summer because sometimes people are out of the country. So we will have an evening where we will invite people and celebrate our new hires. So thank you for coming this evening and welcome.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion to approve the consent agenda items 12.02 through 12.04.
Second.
Comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We have a motion to approve the personnel addendum.
Motion to approve personnel addendum as attached.
Can we clarify which one that is?
I would say items V through Y. Items V through Y.
Okay.
Second.
Comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
The second comment that I would like to make this evening is to recognize the people that work in the district office who have been working really hard with our principals to make sure that we are fully staffed. And I have to say, we've come right down to the wire this evening with our hiring process. So I would publicly like to thank Kelly, who leads up and makes sure that things are on the agenda and properly done. And also Teresa, and Cheryl is here this evening. Cheryl, if you'll just raise your hand up so people know who you are. And of course Anne Marie's staff, and there are others at the district office who helped make this agenda happen this evening. So thank you very much for your hard work.
We have a motion for the consent addendum.
Motion to approve the consent addendum item 14.01. As listed on the agenda.
There should be two. It should be 14.01 and 14.02.
Okay.
So motion to approve the consent addendum items 14.01 and 14.02 as listed on the agenda.
Did I have a second?
Second. You have two.
Comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay. Addendum 3, Resolution 082214B. May I have a motion? Motion to approve.
Sure. Motion to approve addendum.
Resolution
Resolution
082214B.
the date 082214B.
Second.
Comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Okay, we have to do the roll call. Okay.
Mrs. Angelique Everett?
Yes.
Mrs. Gadsden? Mrs. Galvo?
Yes.
Mr. Garnett?
Yes.
Mr. Munoz?
Yes.
Ms. Patchen?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Mr. Zoff?
No.
Ms. Thompson?
No.
Seven yes and 8 no. The motion carries.
Okay.
Two no. And 2 no. I'm looking at. Sorry.
Okay, we have a motion motion for executive session?
Motion to adjourn to executive session to review the employment history of a particular individual, and the board is not expected to take action after executive session.
Second.
Comments or questions? All those